Welcome to everyone. I'm so excited to be back again and celebrating wellness and well-being with you, and in particular, collaborating with Choose Love. What a great movement and a great team, and such a great month of fun. And I've attended many of the events and it's been so much fun. So tonight I'm going to share some more well-being practices and self-care practices. I invite you to go at your own pace, whatever resonates with you, and let it linger and enjoy. And if something doesn't resonate, then just relax and enjoy this time of being together. So we'll start off with, I'm going to say slightly more movement at the beginning, which is not really a lot of movement. And then we're going to go into a very slow practice for the last 15 minutes or so. So it's really about just calming our nervous system, boosting our immune system, and just relaxing in this moment. So I invite you, if it's comfortable, to just get in a comfortable spot and soften your gaze or close your eyes if that feels comfortable for the first few moments. And what we're going to do is come into a little bit of awareness. If it resonates with you, placing one hand on your sternum and one hand below your navel. And as you come into this present moment of awareness, just noticing the sensations in your body and mind, and noticing with curiosity and compassion, and drawing awareness to your tension level of 10 being high, 1 being relaxed. Where are you right now on the tension scale? And drawing awareness to your energy. Is your energy high, low, or just in the right zone? Right zone. Feeling fine. And then just drawing some awareness to your mood and your mindset. What are you noticing in your mind tonight? And perhaps for our well-being practice tonight, you'd like to set an intention for your practice and maybe for the week ahead. What is it that you would like for the week ahead and for your practice tonight? And setting that intention, and then we're going to take the next half hour to bring balance to that intention. Just taking a few breaths, noticing the breath arriving and leaving. And when it feels comfortable, I invite you to open your eyes and just notice who's with us in the space tonight. And any of the movements that we do tonight, you can do seated, standing, or laying down. Some may be a little bit more challenging laying down. So we'll start off, we're going to work with the 3 switches, and we've done that a few times. So I'm going to invite you to place one finger above and one finger below your lip, and your other hand just at your navel area, covering your navel. And what we're going to do is just rub or massage above and below our lip. And we're going to utilize these switches. Really what we're doing is turning our system on here. So when we're under stress, what can happen when we're under stress, high stress, and you don't have enough time or energy for recovery, and sometimes that puts us into stress overload. And that can also, activate the stress response. We're going to switch hands now. We're going to put our other hand at our navel, one hand above and below our lip. And so what happens is we get a bit of a neurological disorganization happening. So as you're doing this, I invite you to have your eyes look up. And if you're outside, how amazing, looking up to the sky and looking down to the earth. And if you're inside, maybe you can even visualize that as we welcome summer in. So our goal with our eyes is we want our eyes teaming and tracking together. And if they're not able to do that, it just makes it much more challenging to do different things such as reading and writing and driving. So we need our eyes for that. Now, what we're going to do is switch. We're going to go down just below our collarbone, outside of our sternum. There's a little bit of a dip just below the collarbone. We're going to take one hand, add a couple fingers on one side, our other hand at our navel. And all that we're going to do is just massage in that area, rub in that area. And if it's comfortable, I invite you to have your eyes look from left to right and right to left, and just noticing, are they moving smoothly? So as I said, stress impacts that communication between our nervous system and our body. And sometimes we can get into something called ocular lock. And that's when our eyes are not teaming and tracking together. They're not doing it comfortably. And sometimes a switching can occur. And as I said, we really want to be able to move fluidly through this midline for reading and writing and working in our midline, working at our computers, and switching hands, just placing our hand just below our collarbone in that dip outside the sternum, our other hand over our navel. Again, if it's comfortable, looking from left to right, right to left. So what happens if we get into this ocular lock is it can create tiredness in us. It may create even a lack of focus with us, or drowsiness, dizziness, and even some tension in our neck muscles. So we're doing lots of amazing things as we rub these points at the end of our kidney meridian, and as we have our eyes look from left to right and right to left. And our goal is really to integrate the brain and the body. So our last one, we're going to place our hand at our navel. Our other hand, we're just going to go from our tailbone up to our waist. I'm just doing a circling action. And what we're doing is we're switching on from front to back, back to front, which is super important if you're backing up a vehicle. Very helpful. And then with your eyes this time, I invite you to have your eyes go in a figure 8. And just notice how big you can make that figure 8 with your eyes. So again, we're really helping the organization. We're switching on here. And we're helping our eyes to team together, to track together, to work together. And then we're going to switch our other hand at our navel, having our eyes go in a figure 8 pattern. Oh, I hear some tractors out there. And then we'll just come back to center and just notice, how does that feel right now? If you have a glass of water, I invite you to have a little sip of water if it's available. And hydration is also really important for our electrical system, our nervous system, and it really does help us with our energy level as well. So water is pretty important. What we're going to do now is something called a cross shoulder pull. So I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on my shoulder, and then I'm going to move through the mid area over to my other hip. And because I have a microphone here, I'm being cautious that I'm not pulling on that. So we're just going right through. It's a cross shoulder pull, cross lateral pull. And these are all great things. If you work on the computer, these are nice little breaks from the computer, especially if you have your eyes look away from the computer during the day. You can add a few of these movements to really help your body and your system feel good. And then I'm going to invite you to do a cross crawl action. You can do this seated or standing. So I'm going to do it standing. So I'm just going to do, oh, I noticed I was off balance a little bit here. So that's a good indicator here. So you can do this seated or standing. And the slower you go, the actually more helpful it is. So for me right now, I have this desire to go quickly. So I'm going to invite you, if you can slow it down a little bit. Again, you're getting that cross lateral action, maybe adding a little figure 8 to it and breathing as you do this. And this is beautiful for connecting up the brain and the body. So we want to connect up the brain, the left hemisphere to the right side of the body, and the right hemisphere to the left side of the body. And we want our brain to hook up, to integrate for whole brain state. All right, I'm going to invite you to remain standing. If you're standing, if you're seated, I'm just going to, we're going to use our arms now. And if you're seated, just be cautious of what's around you. So I even noticed my plants here. So I'm going to invite you to place a frustration on your hands. Now I'm going to say a frustration from 1 to 5 out of 10. If you go higher than 5, you may go into stress state, and that's a little bit harder to learn. So I invite you to place a frustration on your hand. And for me, that's easy. Like my kitchen right now is a bit of a mess. That's a little bit frustrating for me. I'm going to place it on my hands and just very lightly, very gently squeeze your hands together. So it's just a gentle squeeze that you could have something soft in the middle that you're holding. And then I'm just going to show you the action. I'm going to bring my hands up top, and then I'm just going to hold for a second, and then I'm going to go shut on the way down. So we're going to do that 3 times. We're going to do a hold for a moment and then a shut. And if you can make that sound, it adds a little bit of power to this. And this is just blowing out a frustration that you may have. So I'm going to invite you to place your frustration on your hands, very gently squeeze it, bring your hands up, hold, and then shut. We're going to do that 2 more times. Gently squeezing that frustration, bringing your hands up and shut. And 1 more time, gently squeezing it, really thinking about that frustration, gently squeezing, bringing your hands up and shut. Now, for our very last one to really blow out this frustration, we're going to do it in slow motion. So gently taking your hands, holding that frustration, bringing your hands up, and slowly release it as you make the sound. Open your hands and push it down. Beautiful. And that's a blowing out of your frustration. And you can remain standing or seated, whatever feels best. We're just going to do a quick little ear massage here. And for those of you who've been here before, this really helps with lots of different things, but one is neck mobility. So what we're going to do is take our thumb and our fingers, rubbing our ears. We're gently pulling on our ears as we massage all these beautiful acupressure points. If you have earrings on, be mindful of that. This is great. It really helps us to focus, actually, and to tune in when we're listening in conversations. It's great for some auditory processing and also great for mobility in our neck. So a beautiful experience of massaging these acupressure points. And you may notice they're a little bit warmed up, and that gives us a bit of energy as we move into our next area. So we're going to do one more thing before our relaxing well-being practice tonight. So I'm going to invite you to cross one ankle over the other, and you can do this standing. And actually, it's really neat to try this standing to see how your balance is. You can also do this with your eyes closed. So I'm going to invite all of those things, and you can do this laying down as well. So one ankle crossed over the other, hands out in front, thumbs down, crossing the arm over the wrist over wrist and tucking it in. Now, if you find this is hard to do, you can also have your hands in a butterfly position. So just tucking it in, and I'm going to be mindful of my microphone here. And if it's comfortable, placing your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And on the inhale, allowing your abdomen to expand. And on the exhale, allowing your abdomen to release and let go. And going at your own breathing pace with your tongue on the roof of your mouth, breathing in and breathing out. And part of our well-being practice is bringing calm to our body, bringing calm to our mind, and bringing balance to our body and mind. Allowing the breath to guide you. And then we're going to uncross our ankles, uncross our wrists, and we're going to switch it over. So hands in front, crossing over, tucking in. And if it's challenging with your wrists, place them in a butterfly fashion. And again, if it's comfortable, tongue on the roof of your mouth. If you're standing, just notice, what is your balance like? And if you think, wow, I'd like to see what this is like with my eyes closed, notice the difference there. And as we do these gentle movements, we help to bring balance to our body, calm to our body, calm to our nervous system. Allowing our body to relax in this moment. And then to finish this off, we're going to uncross our ankles and our hands and slowly bring our fingertips together. We're going to hold them lightly and our palms are apart. And if it's comfortable, placing your thumb right at your sternum, in the center of your sternum. And this area right here is known as the Sea of Tranquility, a beautiful calming point. Tongue on the roof of your mouth if that's comfortable. Continuing to focus on the breath. Deepening the breath. And that's the end of that movement. We are going to do a final practice tonight that is about 15 minutes long. So I'm going to invite you to either do this seated, laying down for some of you. You can do it standing. It would just be a little bit more effort. And we're going to have a little bit of fun here playing with the 5 elements from traditional Chinese medicine. We're going to have some fun with that. And we're going to utilize it in a couple of different ways, including a choose love way. So if you have some water, I invite you to take a sip of water. And because I need a sip right now, I'm going to take a little sip here. All right. What I want to do, we're going to go around the 5 element cycle twice, and we're going to do it in 2 different ways. I'd like to show you how I'm going to hold my hands. And then if you feel like closing your eyes, then you're welcome to do so. And then you have an idea. So last week and the week before I mentioned, we have something called emotional stress release points or positive points or emotional balancing points. And they're right here in line with my pupil, 1 finger width above my pupil. There's kind of almost like a little bit of a dip there. And these are emotional stress release points. They're very calming points when we hold them lightly. It's like a butterfly touch, just holding very lightly. Now, there's lots of ways you can hold them. You can hold them with your fingertips. You can hold them with the palm of your hand. You can hold it this way. And what I find is when my arm gets tired, it's actually easier for me to hold it this way. So I'll probably do that a fair bit. And I invite you to switch it up tonight. And we're going to take some breaks and bringing our hands down to our heart center as part of this process. So I just want to show you the different hand positions. So we'll always be holding these 2 points in different ways. So one will be with our hand at the back, behind our eyes. Then it will be behind our eyebrows, our hand at the back. Then our hand on top of our head. Then we're going to have it that our hands are at our temples and holding these points with our fingertips. And another way we'll be having 1 palm over each cheek and holding those points with our fingertips here. So those are the 5 things that we'll be doing. Then we'll be coming down to heart center, 1 hand at the Sea of Tranquility and placing our other hand up here. Go with what resonates with you. All right, so that's lots of explanation. I invite you to just get into a comfortable position. And we're going to play for a little bit. We're going to explore this beautiful calming balance. And before we begin, I want you to think about the phrase, I'm not good at. And maybe you don't say this, but I catch myself saying this phrase from time to time. I'm not good at technology. I'm not good at weeding the garden. I'm not good at cooking. I'm not good at cleaning the kitchen. I'm not good, da, 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 da. Does anyone else have that happen to them? Okay, I see a few nods there.
I'm not good at golf.
You're not good. Oh, I'm not good at golf either. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to pick up I'm not good at phrase for you, 1 to 5. If you go up to 10, you may go into stress response, and that's not the goal of this. The goal is really to have a learning experience for your body and mind. So something 1 to 5. Tanya's could be not good at golf. For me, it's going to be tonight, not good at technology. All right. So here we go. Just picking something that's not too activating for you. And let's just do a quick little assessment before we begin, placing one hand on our heart center and our other hand above. And I'm just being mindful of my microphone. So they're just basically on top of each other. And these are both very calming points, and that's why we're utilizing them. So just before we begin, I am not good at, and for me, it's technology, on a tension scale, where is that? And I'm going to say 5 because I don't want to go higher than 5. Or a stress scale, where is it on a stress scale? No higher than 5. And just notice that. And then we're going to check in at the end and just notice, has there been a shift in your tension? So I invite you, if it's comfortable, to soften your gaze or close your eyes, or you can keep them open if that's more comfortable for you. And as we begin, just to drop into the breath, and we're going to utilize our emotional balancing points to bring calm to our nervous system, to bring calm to our mind. And we're just going to anchor in here, holding lightly, holding softly these points. And we're going to go out in nature for a few moments. So I invite you to envision in nature something that is blue, and that's to represent the water element. So think of something that is blue in nature. And as you think, I am not good at, focus on something blue in nature. And we're going to breathe in, I choose courage. Breathing out, I am courage. And now we're going to move on to the wood element. And I invite you to envision something in nature that is green as you think of, I'm not good at. Envision something green in nature. So much is green right now. And as you breathe in, I choose gratitude. And as you breathe out, I act with gratitude. And just allow that to sink in for a moment. Then we're going to move to the fire element. And I invite you to envision something in nature that is red. As you think of, I'm not good at. Something that is red. And breathing in, I choose love. And breathing out, I am love. And just allow that to sink in for a moment. And now we're going to move to the earth element, the color yellow. And I invite you to envision something in nature that is yellow. As you are reminded of your phrase, I am not good at. Focus on the color yellow. And as you breathe in, I am compassion in action. And as you breathe out, I choose compassion in action. And allow that to sink in. And now we're going to move to the metal elements, silver, gray, or white, envisioning something in nature that is silver, gray, or white. As you think about, I am not good at. Breathe into that beautiful color in nature. Breathing in, I choose forgiveness. And breathing out, I am forgiveness. And now what we're going to do is our 5 different head holds. And the first one is, again, one hand on your forehead, holding very lightly in whatever position feels most comfortable. Your other hand behind your eyes, basically about your occipital bone area, holding lightly. And you're just tapping into the wisdom of your heart. We talked about, I'm not good at, cooking, technology, golf, whatever it is. And as you breathe this in, holding your hands lightly, it's pausing for a moment and asking, is this true? Is it true? Bringing your hands down to your heart center just for a moment, just for a breath. And this is more to rest our hands, but also to tap into the wisdom of our heart center. And then we're going to place one hand a little bit higher, and that's behind our brow, our eyebrows, our other hand back on our forehead, holding lightly, tapping into the wisdom. So we asked, is it true? My second question, can you absolutely know that it's true that you're not good at that? Can you absolutely know that? Holding lightly. Bringing your hands down to your heart center, tapping into the heart center wisdom. And then placing one hand lightly on top of your head, your other hand on your forehead, holding both hands lightly. When I think about, I am not good at, whatever that is, how do you react when you think that? What happens when you believe that? For me, when I think I'm not good at technology, I start to feel stress. I feel constricted. I notice a shift in my breath. So I invite you just for a moment to hold lightly and notice, how do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? Noticing the sensations in your body as you think that thought. Bringing your hands down to your heart center again, tapping into the wisdom of your heart. Just noticing your hands. How does that feel, having them on your heart space? Do you feel the warmth of your hands, the nurturing of your hands? And now we're going to put our thumbs at our temples lightly, our fingers over top of our pupils above our eyebrows. Again, just sinking into that for a moment. as you think about, I am not good at that, who or what would you be if you didn't think that thought? Who would you be without that thought? That I'm not good at golf. I'm not good at technology. I'm not good at that. Who would you be without that thought? How would you show up without that thought? Holding lightly. Bringing our hands down to our heart center. Again, connecting with the wisdom of our heart center. Feeling the nurturing, healing hands on your heart center. And we have one more hold we're going to do for the earth element. And for this one, we're going to place our hands over our cheekbone. If you find it difficult to have your eyes covered, then just have your hands slightly to the side of your eyes. If you don't mind having your eyes covered, then just cover them up and holding your hand lightly. We are touching so many beautiful calming points on our face. These neurovascular calming points and some acupressure points. And so we've talked about, or we've been actually just sinking into that phrase of, I'm not good at. And I'm going to invite you for this last one. And this is, the compassion in action. So this is compassion in action for you. So I want you to turn that phrase around in any way that makes sense to you. And it could be, something for me, like with technology. I'm not good at technology yet, or no, that's not true. I am good at technology. Something that resonates with you, or I'm learning technology. This is an opportunity and a possibility of more learning. So for this last one, I invite you to do a turnaround thought here. Compassion in action for you. And we'll just take a few moments to breathe into this, holding lightly, turning that thought around. As you turn that thought around, allow your belly to expand on the inhale and to release on the exhale. The breath will bring you into the present moment with your mind and body. How did you turn that around and put compassion in action for you? And just gently sliding your fingertips down your face, very lightly, and down to your heart center. And let's just hold our heart center for a few moments. Just breathing in and breathing out, becoming present with your body and your mind. And just noticing now, as you think about that thought, I'm not good at, where are you now? Has there been a shift on that? Has there been a shift in your tension level, your stress level? And just bringing awareness now to this present moment. So know that at any time that you're feeling stressed, you can just place your hand on your forehead and hold it lightly, and it will allow calm relaxation to come to your mind and to your body. So thank you so much for joining me. We have, oh, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Carrie. Thanks for joining me. We have one more week of Self-Care Sunday. So join us next Sunday, and may your week flow with courage and forgiveness and gratitude, compassion and action, and may you choose love. Thank you so much for joining all of us. Have a great week.